evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day. Wherever you are, welcome. It's good to see you here. Always good to be with you. This is Leading Ladies, Leaving Legacies, Living Legacies. We bring to you each and every Wednesday night women who are about change. They're agents of change. They are heart-centered leaders, trailblazers, purpose-driven, and cosmic healers. Tonight, our guest is Linda Lang, and I'll bring her up in just a moment. I want you to, if this is a replay and you're watching the replay, just click replay so that I'll know that you were here and you are welcome. It's always good to see you here, each and every one of you. I see my loyal and faithful, hello Carla, hello Eloisa, hello Cindy. Always good to see you here and others that will come. This is really about women who are far beyond themselves, who are doing things for their community and for other women. And that's the lady that we have tonight. I'm going to bring her up in 1 second. But before I do, I want to give you just a wee bit of her background. Linda Lang, her title for tonight's show is Why Your Inner World Matters. Now that's pretty deep, very simplistic, but quite deep. She has a website that's called Thought Change, and she'll speak to that a bit. But we're going to chat about holding on to old stories and unresolved emotions and limiting benefits that affect you in the most negative way and how you can work to overcome them and so much more. Thank you for being here. Let's say hello. I'm going to bring Linda up now. She'll be up here in just a brief second. I'm going to bring her into the show, and then to the show you go. And Linda, I just like to say hello and welcome. It's so good to see you here. How are you? Welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Joy. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. You are such a sweetheart. I just love you.
Well, ditto. The feeling is mutual, and that's always good. Every now and then, it's good to have a little disagreement now and then, but when the hearts are connected, it's a good thing. Linda, I didn't go over your bio because we go very informal here. We keep it very not structured, and that's the fun of it. But I'd like for you to share with the audience a little bit because you know we love what you're about and what you're doing. But share with those who are out in the audience a little bit about what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Well, I have a pretty interesting story, but before I start with my story, I'll just tell people that I am a healer, I'm a coach, and an intuitive, and I kind of mix all of those three things together to serve my clients and help them either move through change that's happening in their life or to create change as they're not on purpose, that their soul is nudging them forward and they're looking for a little assistance to create change. So, thought change has to do with changing your inner world so your outer world reflects the changes you've made.
I love that. And let me tell you why. This is my favorite expression because I love so much of life. It's just so exciting. One of the reasons that you're here, my friend, I know for a fact that most all of us were or are in the process of discovering our purpose, our reason for being here. Why? And one of the things that I know that you're about and that you do, you help a person to get into the unconscious mind to discover that hardwired purpose of what they're doing and why they need to be doing, because the unconscious, I think you said, it knows. So speak a little bit about that. The unconscious knows what we are to be doing. And when we tap into that, we get a big awareness of what that is.
Absolutely. Your unconscious mind is totally amazing and really should be your best friend because it keeps you alive and it keeps you safe. And as you mentioned, it is hardwired with your life purpose so that you have natural skills and abilities and impulses and nudges to take you along your path where you decided to go before you came here. I believe that we all have a purpose and that purpose, not, it's we have a purpose, but maybe how we fulfill the purpose isn't set in stone, but that purpose is there pushing us forward throughout our life. And everywhere we go, we are led toward our purpose. So you mentioned awakening that life purpose.
Yes.
This happened because of a client that I was working with, and I've noticed for many years that as I work with people long term, they start their lives change. They leave jobs that don't suit them or relationships or whatever. Their gifts and their skills start to percolate and their path becomes more obvious. And as I was talking to her and knowing my background in hypnosis and NLP, knowing that your unconscious mind is a really big part in what you attract in your life and how your life unfolds, I decided to write a hypnosis script. So after that conversation, I got up one morning, wrote the script, and I actually started using it. I listen to it every morning. It's like 15 minutes long, and it just makes you feel fantastic. And then all of these things start happening without you having to do anything.
Ooh, I like that. Not only do I like that, but others are going to like that too. Because a question that I had for you is, the majority of people are searching for purpose. They want meaning to their lives, to our lives. We all do. And yet, there's such a quest for it. And the reason is, my belief, please share with me yours, too many of us do not go deep enough inside. Because you and I know that the heart rules, not the mind. And once you start to connect and relate to what the heart is speaking to you, then you can connect it with the mind, but it rules first. So the question would be for you, and I think you addressed it in a smidgen type of way, why don't more of us know? It came to me late in life, so I know from whence I speak. Why are so many of us not able to get in touch with that purpose? Is it because of that subconscious mind and not connecting?
Well, I want to say that you gave me goosebumps when you spoke joy, which is a sign from your unconscious. For me, it's a sign of truth, not, it can be a sign of fear depending on what's happening, but when someone's speaking, it's a sign of truth.
Yes.
So I'm of two minds with your question because I also believe in divine timing, that, we're here in this lifetime. There are experiences sometimes that we need to have before we can actually fulfill our purpose.
Mhm.
So I like to think that everything in my life is leading me. I don't believe your life purpose is something as concrete as being a CEO of a major corporation,
Mhm.
but it's what you do in that role. It's not what you do, it's how you do it, the energy you do it, the compassion you have for people, the relationships you have with others and with yourself. You have to treat yourself with as much love and compassion as you treat other people.
Well,
So it's right there in front of your face. You just might not have known it when you were younger.
brilliant. You know why? Because we've all heard this expression, your genius is in your blind spot. So you spoke to that with different verbiage, but it's the same thing. Can you speak to that a little bit, or is that too?
Yeah. No, it's so funny because we all have talents, we all have gifts, we have natural abilities and aptitudes, and most of the time we can't see our own gifts because they're so natural that it's like we don't see them as a gift because it's who we are. We don't see the strengths that we have.
Yes.
It's that same kind of thing, that blind spot.
Yes. This is why, Linda, please come back with me to me with anything that is off maybe what I'm saying, because this is why for me relationship building is so important, because oftentimes you can't, seldom do we really see ourselves. And when you are big into building good, healthy relationships, and you connect with people who only want the best for you, and then in turn share with you in a way that maybe unnerves you from time to time, but you know they have your best interests at heart, it makes for a good, healthy relationship. And that's what we're all looking for. Relationships that are healthy, that will help us to grow into our better self.
I
Yes.
do agree with that. I also think that the most important relationship you have is with yourself. So relationships can be a little bit of a two-edged sword if you're giving more than you're receiving back. It it all has to be very balanced, and I always encourage people to learn to listen to their inner self, their physiological responses or body sensations, because there's a lot of intuition that comes very quickly, very spontaneously, instantaneously,
Hmm.
and it's very easy to miss. But once you learn how to tune in, you know right away when someone crosses your boundary, or when you need to say no to something, or when something feels really good to do. So I would definitely encourage everyone to really start paying attention to their inner world as well as the relationships, because we are here for relationships. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What is a great tip that you know now that you were not aware of before you went on your journey and discovered and was connected and aligned with your purpose? What tip can you share with those out in the audience who maybe are still questing after what that purpose is for them? What can you share with them that will expedite and somehow enlighten them on their quest for purpose?
Yeah, I think the most important thing that people can do is to learn how to listen to their inner voice. So again, um, very diligently paying attention to how you respond to things. And it can be as simple as a feeling of lightness or heaviness, or constricted breathing and more expansive breathing, or when your voice cracks when you're talking to someone. You know, there's messages and all of that. And as you start to develop a relationship with your unconscious mind, which connects to your intuition and your higher self, you will start getting more messages, stronger messages, more clarity. For me, on my path, I had a pretty traumatic catapult onto this kind of spiritual path,
Mm,
and it was actually I had a very very aggressive cancer diagnosis, and I decided, because of a dream that I kept having 3 nights in a row. I had this dream that told me not to um, follow the traditional medical um, treatment plan, so I walked away from that. And here I am, alive and well today, with all my body parts working,
wonderful.
no radiation. And because that was such a life and death situation, like, my radar was up.
I'm sure.
I got really direct guidance really quickly. I want to tell everyone that they're not alone, that they have, I believe, helpers on either side, spirit helpers, angels, if you like, grandmothers that come and help us on our path. I don't believe there's a single person here that's without any support system in the spirit realm.
Ah, tell me, that leads to a question that I had for you. And there are no crazy, dumb questions. I don't buy into that at all. Who predominantly, one or two characteristics and traits that they have, are the people who come to you? What type of person or persona comes to you who's seeking this type of healing, who wants to be made aware of all the possibilities for them?
I actually have two different types of clients that come to me. Uh, some of them are, really diligently traversing their spiritual path, and they are looking to develop that relationship with their unconscious and higher self and really be very clear and on their path. And so we'll work together to remove limiting beliefs and unconscious emotional baggage or thought patterns so that they can see themselves more clearly. The other kind of person that comes to see me, they're really going through some type of a life challenge, whether that's a health issue or a relationship issue. They're not happy somewhere in their life and they need change. Having trouble navigating their life and they need some help finding out how resilient they are and how fully capable they are of handling whatever's on their plate.
Let me ask you, Linda, I don't know if you can break this down, but do you get more young people, middle age, or elders? What would you say? Is there an even distribution between those three, or which would be your largest grouping as far as age range?
Well, probably more kind of middle age, like maybe late 40s onward. Mostly women, some men though.
Mhm.
Um, and then there's some wonderful younger people in their 20s as well. So I don't know, maybe we're all eternal beings, and it's just when the soul kind of calls them and they resonate with me and the work that I do. One thing I will say is that I've had a lot of people that have done a lot of work, and then when old issues come up, they are so surprised because I worked on that. It was done, and I'm like, oh no, it's not. And they have tangible experiences where they can feel in their body the power of the unconscious mind, how heavy it is for them to carry that emotion or that belief with
Yes.
them, and it just blows their socks off.
Yeah. Well, the opposite end of that would be, if you can recall, and I'm sure you can, what is one of the best compliments that you've ever received from the work that you do? I'm sure you've gotten many, but what really just went right to the marrow of your bone, right to the center of your heart?
Yeah. The one I would share would be a fellow I was working with who was really struggling with depression. And after his very first session, he just sat in a chair dumbfounded. And he said, I forgot that I could feel like this.
Boy,
It shifted that much for him in that session. And so that's the thing that brings me the greatest joy is helping people step out of their box of what they think is possible into
yes.
this world that maybe anything is possible. That's what happened to me when I had cancer. I mean, things started happening, and it was just like there's a whole other level of connection and level of reality than what we focus on here in our daily lives.
I would think so. And the bit of reading that I've done and the people that I've spoke with who've had this life transition type of experience, those who were near death and went through that white light and all the other experience that something happens to an individual. And there is a much keener insight, acute of life and what goes on. And that in itself is a gift given. So that being the case, what tell me more about uh, what you think is one, you've already mentioned a couple of things. What is one of the biggest secrets to success as you see it? And I know that success is different for everyone, and it's not always money. But what would you say would be one of the largest, biggest secrets to success for an individual, contingent upon your work?
Yeah, that's such a really, really good question because success is different
Yes.
for everyone, and it typically isn't about money. People they think that it's about money. Once they have that money, they really realize that money doesn't bring them the happiness and even the freedom necessarily. So balance definitely
Yes.
is a really, really important aspect, I think, to
I
success.
like that, Linda.
Valuing yourself, your own self love and self worth. I mean, whatever you're doing, I think that that's really an important part of everyone's life. And as soon as you have that, I mean, everything will be more fulfilling.
Oh boy, I agree with that, Linda. I agree with that completely because for you, for me, and for all of us, you meet so many people. And back in the day, everybody was, and I've said this, I say this often, they were professing to be so much in love with themselves. I love myself, and I'm this and I'm that. But when you would spend a little bit of time with them, you would sense that no, they did not. They didn't really get the concept of what love was, and they didn't even know who they were. And if you don't know who you are, you can't love yourself. So that was pretty deep in itself, really. It's this love thing from the heart is really becoming more pronounced now. And the other day I heard something which really went to my heart in the worst way. They say more and more young people are committing suicide and have more manic depression and all of that. And I'm wondering why. Why do you think that might be?
I
Our
think
beautiful young people are not having a sense of destiny and a zest for life. What happened? What did we do?
I think they're really missing that sense of connection. Whether
Yes.
that's community or that family support kind of connection. I mean, everyone spends so much time on their technology and less time having, really heart to heart conversations. The funny thing, Joy, we're on Facebook or
Yes.
Instagram or social media, and I really liken that to when you make a post, you're really like you're having a conversation with yourself in in a disguise that looks like you're interacting with other people. But when you're just reading something, you can spin any kind of a tangent on those words. So it's really a reflection of what's inside of you, what's triggering you, what's bringing you joy. Even it can be a study in self exploration.
Yes.
Anything can be a study of self exploration.
It has many different names. Self exploration is one I haven't heard in a while. It's very good because it connects and ties and bleeds and blends in with personal growth and personal development, which many of us will always be about because we understand the cycle of life. And that leads me to this question. What do you most admire about your life and being in this world, in this universe right here and now? What
Oh my
really
God,
lights you up now?
got goosebumps again. Because of my cancer experience, and in that experience, having had a number of mystical experiences, very, very spiritual um, experiences, I really realized that life is a gift. And the more we can appreciate life and appreciate ourselves and our path, and I talk to my spirit guides, they tell me all the time that life is an experience. Not to take it so seriously, that it's about the experience and not about we have to do this and this to get here. It's the experience really that counts. And it's through that experience we have relationships with ourselves, with other people, with the divine. We're learning all the time how to be more accepting and more loving. And
Yes.
sometimes we take the long way around. Yeah.
I don't know about you, Linda, but I know I took the long way around. And I'm so grateful that I did because I now embrace and accept that everything is a lesson to give you, not to take. It might appear it's taking, and sometimes it does, but it's taking away what you don't need anymore. And this technology is blowing me away. And my friends will tell you, they chuckle and laugh at me all the time because half the time you and I got through this, we didn't know what the heck we were doing, but we're here. But that said, tell us a little bit before we wind up here, because I know you have a couple of good projects on the way. And one I want you to speak to, the one where you have a hypnosis, a package of something that will help people to get to their purpose more quickly, readily. And so speak to that a little bit. And then after this, I will put up my friend and I will put up the link so that you can have the people who come and click will get all the data about everything that you're doing. We know that you're on all the social media sites. So tell us a little bit about this package, Awakening to Purpose.
Thank you, Joy. Yeah, awakening to purpose is that hypnosis track that I got up and wrote very early one morning, recorded it before breakfast. That's how quick it went. You know, when you're in the flow, it's just happens. It just happens. And essentially what it does is instructs your unconscious mind to go back into its memories. You have to remember that your unconscious mind doesn't forget anything. It stores all of your memories.
Yes.
And it thinks everything is happening now. So we're sending it into the memory banks to retrieve the memories of your life purpose and to activate them. And I mean, since I did that, I had that lovely contact with you to come on your show. I had contact from another telesummit speaker to be a guest on her show and sell a package. And so it's like taking a life of its own without me really doing anything except relaxing and being open and listening to what life puts on my plate, listening to my body responses if it's appropriate or not appropriate.
You just spoke to something, and I want you to speak to this before we say goodbye here. I know you have something else that I want the audience to be aware of and to get because it's one of your freebies, and it's titled, I love the title, Learning to Listen. I'm guilty. So tell us a little bit about that, and we will post how they can get this if they're interested. They will be.
Learning to Listen is a short ebook with 8 really easy tips to start you on your path to listening to that inner voice. You know, we all have a body, and our unconscious mind talks through the body, talks through feelings, sensations, emotions, and symbols. So this ebook gives you tips to develop that relationship, that rapport with your unconscious mind so that you can start paying attention to the messages it gives you. Again, it's something I noticed that was happening with the clients that worked with me for a period of time as they started to get more intuitive, tuning into their guidance system that's built within them. So I thought, what a fantastic gift to share. You know, you do have to work with it, but the book will start opening the door, and it's an easy read and something everyone can do.
Great. I love it. We will list that and make sure that those who are interested in it will get it. And I will definitely get it because as much as I can do this, I need to learn to listen a little bit more. I'm getting better at it. Let me say, I say this every week. The time, this thing called time, Time. I don't know where it goes and what happens to it, but I look around and I look, and there it is. It's gone. But Linda, you and I connected under some of the best circumstances ever. We both have this eye for harmony, balance, and things that are attractive and appealing to the eye, and that's different for everybody. But yet, when one sees it, they know. I love what you're doing and what you're all about. My intention is to stay connected forever. I'd love to invite you back as time goes on and I get more and more proficient with this, and you more and more involved with what you're doing. We will continue to collaborate and do good things together. And let me ask you this one question before we say goodbye or so long for now. Is there anything that you want me to ask you that I didn't ask? Is there anything you want to ask me that you have whatever about? But before we say goodbye, any questions that you have for me or anything that I didn't address or anything that you'd like to know about anything?
Well, the only thing that I would say, there's nothing I need to know because I already know you're such a beautiful spirit, and my moon is in Libra, and I blame that for my sense of balance and harmony and beauty because it's so important. Those things are so important, and again, gives messages to your unconscious mind. Your environment is very important. What I would say is that because I'm an empath and I can kind of really tune into the energy system, I can feel your big, beautiful heart joy. So that's what I will leave your audience with.
Oh, that is the nicest compliment I've gotten thus far. Thank you so much. I'm hoping, like you, Linda, as I go and move onward and upward here, that others will see that heart because it is there, it is open, and it is loving. There's a sternness and a strength behind it, but that is that. And I'm just honored that you were able to see it. I'm going to say goodbye for now or so long and put you to the side, but don't say goodbye and don't leave the lobby because after I say goodbye to the audience, I'm going to come back and chat with you for a bit. Thank you so much for coming.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joy.
I've enjoyed every moment of it, and all your links will go up. So hang tight for just a second, and then we'll go from there. I want to make sure I put you. Now, I'm still dealing with these dials, and I love it, but every time I'm going up, I should be coming down, but it's okay. My friends, it's always good to see you here. Questions, comments are always welcome and embraced. I'm hoping that you get so enthralled with the show and the content that you don't put your questions in. But I'm hoping also in time, as you get to know me, we get to know you, that you will put that on the back burner and ask your questions and put your comments in. That's how we grow. And we're all about growth here. We want to get to know you. We want you to get to know us. And we want to build this tribe, this community together of like-minded people, but people also who from time to time challenge one another to rise higher. Again, we speak to that blind spot to help them to see maybe that blind spot where that genius is. So again, it's always good to see you here. You are always welcome here. And it's our pleasure to be with you every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. If you are joining us for the replay, please just type in, as I looked at this when I wrote, I said, oh, I need to type in replay and for a reason. But type in replay so that we'll know you were here and you did get a chance to view the video. And do me a favor and you, because the whole point is building a relationship and connecting. If you're viewing the video, don't just view it and click off, click replay if you're not here live. That way I get to know you, you get to know us. Be well and take care. Have a great weekend. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Linda said I have a heart. She's one of the few. I'm only kidding. Be well and take care. All the best until we connect the next time, next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Until then, take care. All the best. Bye-bye for now. Cheers.